You are listening to the Self-Trust Solution Podcast with Dawn Leday, episode number 19. Today, let's talk about the lie, I can't trust myself. This episode is good for anyone who thinks they can't trust themselves to do or not do certain goals or desires. We're going to talk about what's really happening when you tell yourself, I can't trust myself, the other side of the story, the truth that can set you free, and what to do with that power. Is self-trust holding you back? Visit me at theselftrustcoach.com and take the free self-trust quiz. Find out where self-trust may be holding you back and receive instant results along with what you can do in response. Take the free self-trust quiz at theselftrustcoach.com. Now on to the episode. I can't trust myself around cake. I can't trust myself to work out, to follow my schedule, to speak up in a meeting, to keep my opinion to myself, to reach this goal. Whether one or all of these sound familiar, it's almost certain that you have decided that you can't trust yourself in one or maybe many ways. And because of this, you can likely give me a detailed account of why this is true, because you said you weren't going to have cake and you had it 3 days in a row. Another meeting went by where you failed to share your input because you offered your opinion when you promised you would listen next time you talked to Jackie. You still haven't reached that goal you said would be done last December. And as long as you continue to declare and maybe even demand that you cannot be trusted, your brain will continue to rack up this evidence. It really does love to be right in that way. But that's just one side of the story. And I want to offer that it actually means nothing about your trustworthiness. Imagine being sentenced for life to an identity just because you have some circumstantial evidence. It's like deeming yourself a failure because you failed a few tests in school, or a terrible leader because your first management job didn't work out. So what? They are steps along a journey of many more opportunities and chances as long as you let it. But you literally shut them down when you decide you can't trust yourself. So what is the other side of the story? What about those times you stayed up all night to complete a project just in time for the deadline? Or when you went without sweets for an entire summer, led a team meeting or several, or quietly held a friend's hand when they were suffering? There's always another side to the I can't trust myself story. And when you give it airtime, instead of shutting it down in favor of the other, you give your brain time to start showing you this evidence existing and to come. Slowly at first sometimes, but the more you let it, the more easily you will see the other side flooding in. You can trust yourself to take care of your dental hygiene. You feed and clothe yourself daily. You're kind to your neighbors and you give awesome mentorship in your community. You're really good at giving directions and making a plan. These things may seem irrelevant, but they are not. They 100% apply, even if they are not directly related to your favorite flavor of I can't trust myself too. Because the truth is you can. And speaking of the truth, there is one truth that can set you free. And that is the truth that it is not that you can't trust yourself to do or not do any of those things. It's that you choose differently in the moment. I'm going to repeat that, and I invite you to really take it in. It's not that you can't trust yourself. It's that you choose differently. It's literally taking your own power back and admitting the truth. It doesn't change anything, and yet it can change so very much. Because you can continue to choose, or you can stop choosing, And either way, it's in your control. Saying that you can't trust yourself is saying you don't have control over you. But saying, I choose the cake, I choose not to work out, I choose not to follow my schedule, I chose not to speak up in that meeting. And yes, I chose not to reach the goal. It may not feel awesome, but it's honest and it places the power squarely back in your court, which is exactly where it belongs. So, what do you do with this power? My invitation is for you to own it without judgment or criticism. Because when you do this, you can look at why you might be choosing one way when you really want the other. Or maybe you realize you don't actually want the other, but you never thought to question it. And you've just kept this dialogue going on in your brain that you should. I shouldn't have cake. Instead of, maybe I should have cake. Maybe if I give myself permission to have cake without shame and judgment, I only want it once a week or once a month. Maybe you thought you should want to do that, or you just thought it was the right thing to do. I should speak up in a meeting. Maybe, maybe not. If you open up this dialogue for you to explore, then you're creating choice for yourself. What is the right thing for me now? What do I want to choose? It becomes choice, and more than anything, it becomes an opportunity to grow in self-trust and knowing yourself better. What will you take away from today's episode? My goal is for you to tell yourself the truth, that you can trust yourself, and to start giving yourself permission to see all the ways that is true. In what ways am I trustworthy? What are all the things I say I'm going to do, and then I do them on a regular basis? Maybe switch out, I can't trust myself around or with X, and switch it to, I choose X. And then without judgment, decide, do I want to continue choosing this, or do I want to choose differently? And let the conversation flow with curiosity, love, and a desire for what is best, not for someone else, not for you when you were 20, but for you right now. Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. I would offer that building a beautiful, trusting relationship with yourself is a great place to focus that energy, the effects of which can extend beyond you onto everything you do and everyone you come in contact with. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a review. This helps me reach new people, continue to create content, and brings me joy in my mission to serve. Telling yourself the truth is not always comfortable, but every strong relationship includes truth and trust. How uncomfortable it is depends on how you decide to treat yourself because of the truth. It's a choice, one of which compassion is always an option. Join us next week for episode number 20. Thanks for tuning in and have a trust-filled week. Hey, if you're ready to build unshakable self-trust to achieve your goals and make the impact you're being called to make in a way that feels amazing, join me in Coach for Life. Coach for Life is the coaching program to build self-trust and achieve your goals. Join now at theselftrustcoach.com/Coach for Life program. That's Coach, the number 4, Life program. See you inside.